What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C4, and today is one of the more favorable videos I'm going to do in every season of my Eagles Connected franchise mode, and that is talking about the real draft prospects that will be implemented and inserted into this game after the draft. The 2018 draft is concluded. You guys seem to like what I did with the 2017 draft, though you may not have, necessarily agreed with all the prospects I used. If they weren't, a senior or, a clear-cut junior, I'm trying to space it out. I don't want to use all the popular players in one year so that, this year's draft and next year's draft is filled with a bunch of nobodies. I mean, I got 5 to 6, we'll say, draft classes worth of guys that are real-life players that I intend on using. But I'm trying to space out guys and, maybe giving people couple more senior years than what they probably would have, but that way at least I can space out the content and you guys can see familiar faces, for the next couple, seasons, if you will. But today we'll be talking about offensive prospects, and why not start with the most important and maybe popular position, the quarterback position. So at number 5, we're going with JT Barrett out of Ohio State, mobile quarterback, 6'1", 225 pounds with a 3rd round grade. He's going to be one of the fastest quarterbacks in this year's draft class. I'd assume that will have probably mid-80s speed, be very similar to what a Trevone Boykin or, who else would be. I don't really know. Well, a couple guys on this list will probably have similar speeds, but JT Barrett, maybe not, a guaranteed lock at the quarterback position at the next level. May have to be a running back or a wide receiver, but, some team may give him a shot at the quarterback position. Number 4 is going to be Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma, giving him a balance trait. 6 feet tall, 210 pounds with a 2nd round grade. Big time arm from Oklahoma. A little bit undersized, kind of like Drew Brees, 6 feet tall. A lot of bad at balls behind the line of scrimmage. If he's, behind a tall offensive line, he may struggle, but definitely one of the more popular players in college football. And, 2nd round grade, some team will take the chance on the shorter quarterback and hoping it pans out. Look at number 3 is going to be Deshone Kizer from the University of Notre Dame with a mobile quarterback. Could also give him a big arm. This guy here, prototypical size, 6'4", 230 pounds with a 1st round grade. I mean, these 3 quarterbacks are going to be elite, I believe, at the next level. Kizer, maybe the most, I don't want to say Cam Newton build, but the way that Cam Newton plays, I think Kizer is probably the most likely to play like that. But, he has that big arm, not afraid to stand in the pocket and throw the ball. I want to say almost he is a pass-first quarterback rather than a guy that constantly wants to look to throw the ball, run with the ball, sorry. But Kizer is definitely going to be a franchise quarterback, potentially for someone. Number 2 is maybe the most electrifying prospect that you will see throughout this entire Connected franchise mode, and that is Lamar Jackson from the University of Louisville, mobile quarterback. Even though if you ask him in an interview, he says he's a pocket passer, 6'2", 215 pounds with a 1st round grade. This may be the first quarterback since Michael Vick that is going to have borderline 90 speed. I mean, Terrell Pryor, but then he did that position change to wide receiver. I don't literally Lamar Jackson 91, 90 speed for sure, maybe even more acceleration. I personally have never witnessed a quarterback this athletic in my entire life. Michael Vick has been on Twitter saying that he was nowhere near the athlete at Virginia Tech that Lamar Jackson is this year. So, maybe even has a chance to bump Rosen for the top, the first quarterback off the board. But as it stands right now, the number 1 prospect is going to be Josh Rosen from UCLA, West Coast style quarterback, 6'3", 220 pounds, 1st round grade. This guy has been heralded as the next Peyton Manning. So I mean, he's a lot more, where Lamar Jackson is a mobile quarterback that's trying to be a pocket passer, Josh Rosen is that pro style quarterback from a pro style offense, and he's definitely going to be, if not the first pick taken, top 5 for sure. That does it for the quarterbacks. We're looking at the running backs now, and we'll start from 5 and work our way down. Not as notable as it was last year. One big name that you guys probably were like, why the fuck didn't that guy get drafted? He decided to go back a year. He wants to come out as a senior. But number 5 is Elijah Hood from North Carolina. Balanced running back, 5'11", 225 pounds from a 3rd round grade. Good size, good pro size there, 225 pounds. Good mix of speed and power. Number 4 is LJ Scott from Michigan State. Power back, 6'1", 230 pounds with a 3rd round grade. Number 3 is James Conner from Pitt. The cancer survivor, the power back, 6'2", 240 pounds. 2nd round grade. This guy here, almost as... I think he can almost be as impactful as Derrick Henry. He's not as fast, I don't think. I wouldn't be surprised to see his 40 be a little bit slower. But, I mean, this is the year of the power back. Last year was, all over the place from elite runners. I think there's a big drop-off in talent from this year and last year. We saw a lot of big names last year. but these guys here can certainly get it done. Number 2 is Jalen Hurd from the University of Tennessee, another power back, 6'3", 230 pounds, second round grade. I mean, these guys here are absolute monsters. You know, they can get drafted to almost any team and work as a tandem with a speedier back. And the number 1 running back is Dalvin Cook from Florida State, a one-cut type runner, 5'11", 220 pounds with a first-round grade. It makes sense. There were so many good first-round running backs. Why not wait one extra year and be the undisputed top running back in your draft class? So that's what Dalvin Cook did, and he may be a potential top 10 pick for any team out there that absolutely is starving for a starting running back. Going to now wide receivers and tight ends. There's only one real legit tight end prospect, but boy, is he great. And that's at number 5, Bucky Hodges from Virginia Tech, a playmaker, tight end, 6'6", 245 pounds with a first-round grade, probably a late first-round grade. But, I mean, this guy here, you saw in last year's draft, Jake Butt went in the first round. Evan Ingram went close to the first round. I think Bucky Hodges has those guys beat in overall ability for the pro game. It's going to translate well, and he'll probably go in the first round. Number 4 is Devon Allen out of Oregon, an absolute speed receiver. This guy here has a chance to break the combine 40-yard dash record, 5'11", 185 pounds, second round grade. This guy here could certainly potentially go to the Olympics, which may wear some teams off. They don't want to draft him and have him be maybe like a Marcus Goodwin or any of those guys, or Jeff Demps, and want to go to the, you know, be more of an athlete and do track and field. But I mean, if any team needs an absolute burner, this guy here can spread a defense out. And very similar, number 3, Katie Cannon from Baylor, another speed receiver, 5'11", 185 pounds with a first-round grade, a little bit better hands and more of a, you know, receiving pedigree than Devon Allen. I mean, being from that air raid attack in Baylor, he's seen a lot of balls come his way. And, you know, I think Devon Allen might have a shot at breaking the 40-yard dash record, but Katie Cannon is definitely a guy that could certainly, you know, have a chance to get up in those 4.2s, high 4.2s, and, you know, maybe make Chris Johnson start to sweat a little bit on Combine Day. Number 2 is Artavis Scott from Clemson, playmaking wide receiver, 5'11", 190 pounds with a first-round grade. So, I mean, last year, you saw all the wide receivers were 6'2", 220, 6'1", 210. These guys here are a lot more athletic and quicker and shiftier, maybe on the slot. But, I mean, you've seen guys like Brandon Cooks and maybe even Corey Coleman that aren't that 6-foot-plus, 200-plus pound guy, still play on the outside because they can move. You can just move them all around. And Artavis Scott, you know, product of that Clemson system, had a little bit of a down year this year because he had no Deshaun Watson throwing him the ball, but big-time playmaker and definitely worth that first-round grade. But the number 1 overall wide receiver is Isaiah Ford from Virginia Tech, a playmaker, 6'1", 195 pounds, borderline top 10 pick. This guy here is an absolute playmaker, the biggest wide receiver that's considered elite in this year's draft class, and I think he'll probably go very, very high. We, as the Eagles, may be looking for adding another talented wide receiver. We have 3 first-round picks, so I may take a stab at one of these guys. We have to wait and see, you know, what really pans out between Aguilar and DGB. And then finishing up the video with the Hogs, the offensive lineman. Going at number 5 is the son of legendary Dallas Cowboy offensive lineman Larry Allen. It's Larry Allen Jr. from the University of Harvard, making sure you got that good education, balanced playmaker, 6'3", 300 pounds with a second-round grade. If he can have, you know, anywhere near as high of a ceiling as his dad did coming out of college, he's going to be an all-pro. I don't think he's as good as his father, but definitely, you know, going to be a solid starter in the NFL. Number 4 is going to be David Sharp from the University of Florida, a pass blocker, 6'5", a massive 350 pounds with a second-round grade. This guy here, he can play left and right tackle. Predominantly, I could see him being more of a left tackle because he's just a destroyer of worlds. I mean, this guy here, when he stands up, he's going to block out the sun. Big-time playmaker for the University of Florida, and may actually creep up into the first round, especially if there's a run on offensive linemen. Go number 3 is going to be Casey Tucker from the University of Stanford, balanced offensive lineman, 6'5", 300 pounds, second-round grade. Probably will project to be a right tackle in the NFL, and right tackles are almost at a premium. So again, most of these guys, even though they have a second-round grade, could certainly creep up into the first round. Number 2 is Billy Price out of Ohio State, a balanced guard, 6'3", 315 pounds. Yes, a first-round guard. Haven't seen something like that since Josh Garnett was selected from Stanford as well. Speaking about Casey Tucker, who took him? The 49ers took him at the end of the first round in 2015, 2016, one of those drafts. But Billy Price, big-time playmaker, great blocker for running and passing, and probably will go in the first round. And the number 1 offensive lineman is Jamarco Jones out of Ohio State, a run blocker, 6'5", 315 pounds. Maybe A left tackle, probably going to be projected as a right tackle. Not a lot of good left tackles in this year's draft class, but I mean, a lot of teams are hurting for offensive linemen. So, like I said, if I had to guess one position out of all these offensive positions that has a run on in the first round, it would be offensive line. So, yeah, guys, that is your sneak peek at the 2018 draft prospects for my Eagles Connected franchise mode. As always, if you like the video, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel and you like this kind of stuff, you like this being, so in depth, hit that little subscribe button that's at the bottom of all these little pictures. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying, leave a comment in the comment section below for any of these offensive prospects you want me to look at. We got 3 first-round picks, so it's potential to get those guys real big. Until next time, though, it's your boy C4 saying peace out.